Have you ever been in a situation where everyone seemed to agree on something, but you had a totally different view? Take a minute to think back to that moment. Did you speak up and share your thoughts? Or did you keep quiet? If you chose to keep quiet, what stopped you from speaking up? Was it that whole peer pressure thing where you felt like you should just go with the flow in order to fit in? Or was it the thought of your idea getting rejected and you'd end up looking silly? Or maybe you've been down on this road before, but it didn't exactly end well? So, what was it that made you decide to zip it? Well, guess what? What you went through has a name and it's called groupthink. Groupthink refers to a psychological phenomenon where a group of individuals striving for harmony and conformity within the group make decisions or reach conclusions that may not necessarily reflect the best or most rational course of action. In other words, groupthink occurs when everyone within a group adopts similar thought patterns. Dissent becomes rare, and critical viewpoints are seldom expressed. Groupthink can occur for various reasons, including the fear of social isolation, the need for acceptance, and the avoidance of potential criticism. Groupthink frequently creates a misleading illusion of team unity, and it often results in unfavorable consequences. In this video, we'll uncover 3 dangers of groupthink and provide you with 5 effective strategies to avoid groupthink. Make sure you stick around till the end because the last tip we'll be sharing with you is what we think one of the most effective tips to avoid groupthink, especially if you have a team with different personalities. Danger number 1: failure to recognize potential negative outcomes. Groupthink can lead to a dangerous blindness to potentially negative outcomes because it suppresses critical thinking and dissenting voices within a group. When individuals prioritize harmony and conformity over independent analysis, it prevents critical examination of a chosen course of action, even if it appears flawed. As a result, the group may overlook crucial warning signs or fail to identify potential negative consequences of their decisions. Group members become overly fixated on preserving consensus and they collectively grow overly confident in their infallibility, fostering a false sense of security within the group. This may eventually lead to disastrous outcomes which could have been prevented through open discussion and diverse viewpoints. Danger number 2: limits creativity. Groupthink can hold back new ideas and creative thinking in a group. When the primary focus is on maintaining consensus and avoiding dissent, it can discourage individuals from expressing unique or unconventional ideas. Moreover, groupthink tends to reinforce existing beliefs and approaches, leading to a closed mindset where the way we've always done it becomes the norm. This limits the exploration of new possibilities and alternative solutions. As a result, the group may become stuck in conventional thinking patterns, limiting their ability to generate innovative ideas or address complex problems effectively. They start avoiding risks, choosing to stay on the safe side by following the majority. Consequently, the group or organization misses out on the fresh perspectives and innovative ideas that can drive progress and success. Danger number 3: diminish the feeling of belonging and ownership. Groupthink can erode the sense of belonging and ownership within a group, particularly for the minority. When the viewpoints of the minority are consistently disregarded or marginalized, it fosters an us versus them mentality. This division can make minority members feel isolated and disconnected from the group, ultimately diminishing their sense of belonging. They start to sense a lack of influence or say in the decision-making processes, and as a result, minority members may disengage and withdraw their sense of ownership and commitment to the group's goals. Such an environment makes it extremely difficult for the team to move forward harmoniously and make the best decisions collectively. Alright, now that we've covered the 3 dangers of groupthink, next we're going to share with you the 5 ways we can avoid it. And if your group comprises individuals with very diverse personalities, make sure to stay tuned until the end because it's one of the simplest methods you can start practicing in your group to avoid groupthink. Tip number 1, always start with the lowest ranked member. Letting the least experienced or lowest ranked member of a group share their ideas first is a clever strategy to avoid groupthink. This approach taps into the benefits of diverse perspectives, as junior members may bring fresh and unconventional viewpoints that can break the mold of conventional thinking. Moreover, it encourages broader participation across all group levels, fostering a culture where everyone's input is valued. It also helps to mitigate leader bias by preventing the leader from influencing the group's direction prematurely. By commencing with the most junior member, the group is also prompted to critically assess ideas independently based on their merits rather than their source. So if you are the leader of your team, always keep your idea to yourself first before you hear from others. Tip number 2, create a safe environment for diverse viewpoints. Creating an environment that encourages diverse viewpoints is vital in preventing groupthink. To establish such a conducive atmosphere, it's essential to actively foster a culture of inclusion and open-mindedness. Encourage team members to share their thoughts and ideas, emphasizing that all perspectives are valued. Make it clear that it's safe to express dissenting opinions without fear of judgment or negative consequences. As a leader or group facilitator, set the example by actively listening to and considering different viewpoints before offering your own. Additionally, after a decision is made collectively, avoid placing blame or punishment on anyone to reinforce the importance of the team bearing the consequences together rather than singling out the individual who initially proposed the idea. By doing so, you foster a culture that not only prevents groupthink, but at the same time creates an environment where team members feel safe in sharing their thoughts without fear of being judged or facing punishment. Are you learning something new so far? If yes, hit the subscribe button because it's the best way to motivate us to keep producing great content for you. Alright, tip number 3, split the team into smaller groups. Splitting a team into smaller groups can be a powerful strategy to prevent groupthink. This approach ensures that each team member gets a more significant share of the conversation, promoting diversity of thought and active participation. Instead of leaving the responsibility to the usual decision makers, individuals often feel a heightened sense of responsibility and ownership to contribute to the discussion in smaller groups. It prevents the reliance on the same decision makers and encourages everyone to engage. This approach is also especially effective when you have introverts in your team who tend to be the quietest in the room but often have brilliant ideas they may not feel confident expressing in a large group setting. And once each group has formulated their ideas independently, they can then present them to the larger team. Tip number 4, take an outsider's opinion into account. Incorporating an outsider's opinion is a powerful strategy to prevent groupthink. An external expert brings a distinct advantage by being detached from the group's dynamics, enabling them to offer fresh and unbiased perspectives. Without the fear of straining internal relationships, they're not afraid to bring unconventional or unpopular ideas to the table. In situations where an external perspective is unavailable, Establishing a critical subgroup within the team can serve a similar purpose. Such a subgroup comprises individuals responsible for critically examining ideas, actively challenging consensus, and promoting a culture of open debate. Both approaches encourage diverse thinking and counter the pitfalls of conformity, ultimately leading to a more informed and balanced decision-making. Alright, as promised, we will now reveal what we think is the easiest and most practical strategy you can start implementing to avoid groupthink, especially if you have a team with diverse personalities. Tip number 5. Provide different means to contribute to the discussion. By offering various channels for participation, it broadens the scope of input beyond traditional spoken communication. It ensures that team members have the opportunity to express their thoughts and ideas comfortably, regardless of their communication preferences or personalities. Some individuals may excel at expressing their ideas verbally, while others might find it more comfortable to contribute through written communication, visual aids, or even anonymous channels. But none of these makes their ideas any less valuable. Hence, it's important that we incorporate different ways of communication to the discussion to create a more inclusive environment where everyone can contribute meaningfully without any barriers. More importantly, alternative means such as anonymous suggestions or electronic brainstorming can reduce the fear of judgment or hierarchy, encouraging open sharing of dissenting opinions. Do you remember earlier that we shared the factors contributing to groupthink? Well, did you know that groupthink can also happen because of the fixed mindset? Check out the next video here, where we'll share with you what the growth and fixed mindset are and how shifting your mindset can change your life.